So let's talk about ACE's commands and training tools so that you can stay consistent at home. The first thing we're going to talk about is the heel. Heel is on your left side. His shoulder should be about aligned with your left leg on a nice loose leash. Now 80 to 90% of your walk is in this position. The other 10 to 20% of the time he can be a free dog to sniff, go potty, explore, as long as he's not pulling you on that leash until you give him another command. So this is the prong. This is what I've been using in ACE's training. So open this up, you grasp one prong with your right hand, the next prong with your left, and just pull down. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, it's more about the leverage that you use. I'm going to put this on, you're going to put it right under his chin, right behind his ears. It should be the highest collar on his neck. And to attach it, you just pinch this prong and slot it into the next prong. The leash then attaches to this D-ring with the swivel on it. Now all the corrections that we give on this prong collar are a quick pop and release. You don't want to pull on it, you don't want to give constant pressure, you just want to pop and release. So if he gets a head in the heel, you'll tell him no, pop on the leash, heel. And that should bring him back into position. So it's no, pop, heel. So bring treats with you on your first few walks so that you can reward him appropriately. You want to reward with treats, petting, or praise. Just be sure to get that reward down to his level so that he doesn't have to jump for those rewards. The next thing is the remote collar. To turn this on, there is a red dot on the collar itself. There is a matching red dot on the remote. You simply tap those two together until you see a green flashing light, and that will flash green every few seconds to let you know that it's on, charged, and ready to go. To turn on the remote, there is an L button on the back. You simply press and hold that L button until the blue screen lights up. So with this, we're going to be using the black S button for our corrections with the remote collar. So if he's in a heel and he starts to get ahead, you're going to tell him no, press the black S button, heel. So it's no, tap, heel. The next thing is the sit. Now we use an implied stay with all of our commands, meaning we don't use the word stay. Stay is implied when we say the command. So for example, with door manners, you walk up to the door, he sits at the door, you then open the door and tell him free to go through ahead of you or heel to walk through with you. Now, if you tell Ace sit and he doesn't sit, you'll tell him no, pop up, sit. It's no, pop, sit. This is a short duration stay. It shouldn't be used for long durations because he'll get tired or bored and lay down. Now, down is a longer duration stay. You want to reward low, either under his chin or on the floor. If you tell him down and he doesn't down, you'll tell him no, pop down to the side, and tell him down again. So that's down and to the side rather than up like with the sit or the heel. Always return to him to release from that down. That will strengthen the duration, strengthen that stay. If you release from a distance, that will weaken the strength of that stay. The next thing is place. Place is a boundary stay. Always reward on the bed. The bed itself is what produces the treats and what is most rewarding for Ace. Now he can sit down, stand up, turn around, as long as all four paws are on that bed. He's still on place. Just with the down, you're going to return to him to release him with the free. With come when called, always have a leash on when you're practicing. This is a safety measure for the both of you. So when you want to call him back to you, you'll say Ace come in a very clear voice that he can hear. Praise as he comes towards you, have him sit, and then reward with treats. Always reward when he comes back to you because you want this to be a super rewarding command. If you tell him come and he doesn't come back to you, you're going to tell him no, press the button on the e-collar, come. And as with the regular command, you're going to reward when he gets back to you, even though you had to correct, because the corrections happened out there, all the good things happen next to you. With leave it is correction in itself, so you don't have to say no with this command. It's just leave it. So if you drop something on the floor and tell Ace leave it, and he starts to go for it, you'll just tap the button on the remote and tell him leave it. Now this remote collar can be on all day, every day. It can go on in the morning and come off at night. This prong collar should only be worn when you have a leash attached to it. It shouldn't be on otherwise. So again, the commands are sit, down, place, come, leave it, and free, and heel. So now let's take a look at some of Ace's commands. Boy, good down. Yep.
Right.
Down. Good boy. Good down. Down. Good boy. Good boy. Good down. Down. Free. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Place. Boy. Place. So let's talk about the e-collar in greater detail. So I already told you how to turn this on. To turn it off is just the same. So you take the two red dots and you tap them together until you see a red light on the collar, and then when that goes off, the collar is off. And same on the remote. You have the L button on the back. You just press and hold until the blue light turns off. So I'm just going to turn these back on. So also on your remote, you have your red S button underneath the black S button. That is a boost button. So this takes the level from level 4 up to level 9. So it increases it by 4. No matter what your starting level is, it will increase the level by 5. So we only use this for emergencies. So for example, if Ace is off leash and you'd call him back, he doesn't come, you use the black S button, he doesn't come, then you would use the red S button and call him. That will match his adrenaline level with the level of the correction from the collar. On the opposite side, you have the T button. This vibrates the collar. We don't use this for any commands. Occasionally you can use it to get Ace's attention, but some dogs react more strongly to the vibration than they do to the stim. So I really only use the vibrate for checking if the collar is on. On top of your remote, you have the dial. This is locked right now at 4. To unlock it, you just press and hold until you see it flash, and then you can dial up and then dial back down. And then to relock it, I'm just going to set it back at 4. To relock it, you just press and hold until it stops flashing. On the back, the L button has a second function. If you tap it once, you will get a flashing light on the collar. If you tap it again, it will be a solid light, and tap it again to turn the light off. That's very useful at night if he goes outside off leash. Your charger ports are located on the back. On the back of the remote, there's a rubber tab that you lift up. Just make sure that that is closed when you're not charging so that it doesn't get dirt and debris in it. Same thing on the back of the remote. There's a rubber tab that lifts up. Just make sure that stays closed. You can trim down this band so that it's easier to put on and take off of Ace where he's so little. So inside your box, you have some extended contact points. You shouldn't need these unless you grow out Ace's fur a lot. If you let his hair become really long, you can use the longer contact points just so that it makes better contact for that stem. You also have your charger. This has 2 charging ports so that you can charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. You'll have to charge the collar more than the remote because that's doing a lot of the work. It will use a lot more of the charge. But you should get about 2 to 3 days on a charge with it at full. On the bottom, you have your owner's manual. This goes into the buttons in greater detail, but I've gone over what you need to know for basic use. So Ace is a great dog. I had a lot of fun training him and he learned really well. If you have any questions, let us know. And as always, have fun and stay consistent.